الرد على الحكماء في إنكارهم الإرادة. Just parentheses.
We're from? Yes.
ولا عبرة بقوم يسمون الحكماء يزعمون أن لا إرادة بهذا المعنى فقد حفظوا شيئا غابت عنهم أشياء وهم محجوبون عن مشاهدة هذا الموضوع محجوبون بأدلة الآفاق والأنفس. أما حجابهم فهو أنهم لم يهتدوا إلى موطن بين التجلي الأعظم وبين الملأ الأعلى شبيه بالشعاع القائم بالجوهرة ولله المثل الأعلى. ففي هذا الموطن يتمثل اجتماع على شيء استوجبه علوم الملأ الأعلى وهيئاتهم بعدما كان مستوى الفعل والترك في هذا الموطن. وأما الحجة عليهم فهي أن الواحد منا يعلم بداهة أنه يمد يده ويتناول القلم مثلا مثلا وهو في ذلك مريد قاصد يستوي بالنسبة إليه الفعل والترك بحسب هذا القصد وبحسب هذا القوة المتشبحة في نفسه. وإن كان كل شيء بحسب المصلحة الفوقانية إما واجب الفعل أو واجب الترك فكذلك الحال في كل ما استوجبه استعداد خاص فينزل من بارئ الصور نزول الصور على المراد المستعدة لها.
فينزل من بارئ الصور نزول الصور. نزول is the فاعل of ينزل. Got it? فينزل من بارئ الصور نزول الصور. So you should write, correct it.
فينزل من بارئ الصور نزول الصور على المواد المستعدة لها كالاستجابة عقيب الدعاء مما فيه دخل
لمتجدد حادث
بوجه من الوجه
إلى آخره. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين. So before that, Hazratul Imam Rahmatullahi alayh, he talked about Aqidah in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Aqidah in the Sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and from amongst the Sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Sifat of Irada. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has Irada. Because that is in text of Quran and Hadith. Inna Allah yaf'alu ma yurid. Fa'alun lima yurid. So now irada is attributed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So nobody can negate it. Imam Rahmatullahi alayh, in accordance with the mazhab of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, he is proving that irada is sifat qadim of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like khalq and qudrat. Khalq or creation is the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and eternal quality. Qudrat and power is his eternal attribute as well. Same is the case of irada. But as we mentioned in detail, that Mu'tazila, they do not deny sifat as sifat, but they do not think that this is a separate thing than the entity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they say that all these things are there in the entity of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expressed it in such a way to make us to understand that He knows, He sees, He hears. But it doesn't mean that He has for hearing some organ or for seeing some organ or something separate from His entity. But with Ahlul Sunnah, we say entity is a thing, qualities are different things. And these qualities are as eternal as the entity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is since ever, forever. Same is the case of irada. Yes, when people are getting confused that now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He did irada of a thing and that is done, or He did of irada of a thing and that was not done, because no doing was His irada, or doing was His irada. So that is hadith, a newborn thing. When that's a newborn thing, so how we can say that irada, that is sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then an ephemeral thing will be a quality and attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Imam made it clear, like khalq, creation, that is the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah created a thing now, today. It doesn't mean that He got the quality today. Quality and attribute that was His since ever, forever. But that quality or attribute connected or related to a thing, and that came into existence and it was created. You got it?
Yes.
That's what Imam Rahmatullahi Alayh, he is mentioning. And then now in the Ibara, which you have read now, so here Imam Rahmatullahi Alayh, he says that the philosophers, what they say, that the details which you people are saying about irada and intention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so for Allah there is no such like irada. Got it? That Allah iradata bihadha al-ma'na. So Imam Rahmatullahi Alayh, he said that faqad hafidhu shay'an wa ghabat anhum ashya'u. They look in one direction, but they missed a few other direction. One thing they are running from, but so many things they fell down therein when they said like this. So Imam Rahmatullahi Alayh, he says that Mu'tazila, they are not denying the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they say the sifat and attributes mentioned in Quran and Sunnah, that is only for our understanding. Got it? And as far as the mushabahat and resemblance is concerned, that we the human, we have irada, we the human, we have hearing power, or seeing power, or we have some power and qudra. So this resemblance is only a worldly resemblance, not worldly, W-O-R-D-L-Y, a worldly resemblance. But the reality, in reality, the hearing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something else, and our hearing, that is something else. So, as we mentioned before, in detail, that in this regard, the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are basically of two types, sifatul nafs and sifatul ma'ani. And mostly, the discussion is in sifatul ma'ani, which is 7 in number, which is hayat, the life, ilm, the knowledge, qudrat, the power, irada, the intention, sama, the hearing, basar, the seeing, and kalam, the speech. Got it? Mostly the talk in ilmul kalam is taking place regarding these 7 attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we gave you the detail that then there is another division of or classification of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that what is sifatul zat and what is sifatul fi'l. So you can check your notes later on, that we have already said it in detail. So then Imam Rahmatullahi Alayh, here he is actually condemning and rejecting the concept of falasifa. So he said, وَلَا عِبْرَةَ بِقَوْمٍ وَلَا عِبْرَةَ بِقَوْمٍ. And there is no i'tibar to take into consideration. The saying of a qawm, yusammawna al-hukama, not yusammuna, yusammawna al-hukama, who are named as philosophers. So Imam Rahmatullah alayhi said, we are not taking into consideration what these philosophers said. Yaz'umuna, because Zam is in the meaning of Zanni Fasid. They thought in a wrong way. Zam mean what? Thought, thinking in a wrong way. As Allah says, Za'amal lazina kafaru an la yub'asu. In Surah Taghabun, Allah used the word, what? Za'amal lazina kafaru. The disbelievers, they thought wrongly, an la yub'asu, that they would not be resurrected. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that is their wrong thinking. So here Imam Rahmatullah alayh, he used the same word Zaham, that they are saying, the saying of philosophers, that's a wrong thinking and a wrong saying. Yaz'umun Allah iradata bihadha al-ma'na, that for Allah there is no any irada in this meaning. Faqad hafizu shay'an. So they took some one thing, وَغَابَتْ عَنْهُ أَشْيَاءُ, but they have missed a lot of things. وَهُمْ مَحْجُوبُونَ عَنْ مُشَاهَدَةِ هَذَا الْمَوْتِينَ. And actually, look at me, that the place we are referring to, that from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the signal comes, the signal comes, so there is a point which is called Tajalli Azam. What? Tajalli Azam. And then therefrom it comes to the angels of Malay Allah. In between there is a place. So that mountain is missed by these people. They don't understand it. Got it? Yes. That whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He makes the irada of a thing, so the signal comes as Tajalli Azam. From Tajalli Azam, when that is getting transferred to the angels of Malay Allah, in between there is another place. In between, there is another place. So, hum mahjubuna, they are covered. Hijab mean, look, their eyes are covered. An musharati hazal mawtin, to see that place we are talking about. Mahjujuna bi adillatil afaqi wal alfus. Mahjuj, that is from Hujjah. Mahjujuna bi adillatil afaqi wal anfus. And mahjujuna mean that they have been given a defeat. They have been given a defeat. Bi adillatil anfus wal afaq. That there are two types of dalail. Some dalail and proofs and evidences. That is in human body, the Quran is talking about that. And some of them, that's in the afaq and in the whole world. Sanurihim ayatina fil afaq. وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. أما حجابهم. Now Imam is giving us the detail that I told you that they are in a hijab and cover from that very place. أما حجابهم. So their cover is أنهم لم يهتدوا إلى موطن بين التجلي الأعظم وبين الملأ الأعلى. They couldn't understand. They couldn't get guidance. Ihtida mean receiving guidance. They couldn't receive guidance, mean they couldn't understand that there is a place between Tajalli Azam and between Malay Ala. That لم يهتدوا إلى موطن بين التجلي الأعظم وبين الملأ الأعلى شبيه بالشعاع القائم بالجوهرة. That is just like, look at me, that if you will have a shining element like the pearl, like what? Like the pearl or some other precious stone, if you will put it there in front of sun, so you will see around that nagina or that shining stone a light. Yes, one is the precious stone itself. Got it? That is shining as well. Got it? Yes. Or not? But around that there is another shining circle. Got it? So Imam Rahmatullah alayhi says that is actually the point, a visible example, the point in between Tajalli Azam and Malay Ala. So Imam Rahmatullah alayhi says Bishu'ai al-Qaim bil-Jawhara walillahi al-Masalul A'la. Imam Rahmatullah alayhi says, even though I gave you the example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is too much high than Jawhara and precious stone and things like that, but only to make you to understand it what I say. ففي هذا الموطن يتمثل إجماع على شيء. So in that place, يتمثل إجماع, and ijma mean ihkam. Ijma mean ihkam. And ihkam and a strong decision is taking place ala shay'in regarding a thing. استوجبه علوم الملأ الأعلى وهيئاتهم. Now look, as I told you, that when a person is doing good things constantly and continuously, so an ijma is taking place there in the angels of Malay Allah. From the angels of Malay Allah, a message is going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the message of Qabuliyah, that this guy is in the place of Qabuliyah. Got it? So a decision has taken place. They send it to Allah. They're just like recommendation of a lowest category of officer to the highest one. You know what I'm saying? That's how Imam Rahmatullahi alayhi, he is trying to make us to understand. So, فَفِي هَذَا الْمَوْطِنِ يتمثل إجماع على شيء استوجبوا علوم الملأ الأعلى وهيئاتهم بعدما كان مستوى الفعل والترك في هذا الموطن. Now look, for that good guy, whatever has to be sent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in return, before their recommendation, that return was in between do and undo. You know what I'm saying? That good deed a person has done, Malay Allah, they took it and considered it as an accepted amal. So they recommended it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now this recommendation point there, this very return which has to come back to the person concerned, that is in between do and undo. Done or not done. Done or not done. You know what I'm saying? So Imam Rahmatullah alayhi says, now the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is getting related to doing or not to doing. Got it? Or not it? So, بعدما كان مستوى الفعل والترك في هذا الموطن, that doing and undoing were equal at that time when the angels were sending that recommendation to Allah. وَأَمَّا الْحُجَّةُ عَلَيْهِمْ. So Imam Rahmatullah said, these people, their eyes are covered or their brain is covered from understanding this point and their place. And mahjujun, so أَمَّا الْحُجَّةُ عَلَيْهِمْ. And as far as the evidence against them is, فَهِيَ أَنَّ الْوَاحِدَ مِنْهَا يَعْلَمُ بَدَاهَةً أَنَّهُ يَمُدُّ يَدَهُ. That look at me, that one of us, he knows without detail, there is no need of giving him arguments, that أنه يمد يده ويتناول القلم. Look, this is the qalam. أنه يمد, he's stretching his hand. ويتناول يأخذ القلم, and he is getting the qalam. Got it? مثلا وهو في ذلك مريد قاصد يستوي بالنسبة إليه الفعل والترك. Now he has done his irada. And in this regard, he was in equal shape to the qalam to take it or not to take it. To take it or not to take it. يستوي بالنسبة إلى الفعل والترك بحسب هذا القصد وبحسب هذه القوى المتشبهة في نفسه. And in accordance with those powers which has taken a shape in his mind, and thus he is stretching his hand ahead. وإن كان كل شيء بحسب المصلحة الفوقانية. Even though everything according to the maslahat and wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is imma wajibul fi'l or wajibul tarik. Either it's doing is must or not doing is must. But that is the case with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now look, I am stretching my hand to this qalam. Got it? Now I don't know whether I will write or I will not write. I will write or I will not. But that is my case. With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if written is decreed, so for sure I will write. If not writing is decreed, so not writing, it will never get written. So Imam Rahmatullah says, فَكَذَلِكَ الْحَالِ. Same is the case. فِي كُلِّ مَا يَسْتَوْجِبُ إِسْتِعْدَادٌ خَاصٌ. That a specific ability and capability requires a thing. فَيَنْزِلُ مِنْ بَارِ الصُّوَرِ نُزُولُ الصُّوَرِ عَلَى الْمُوَادِ الْمُسْتَعِدَّةِ لَهَا. So look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of all shapes. So therefrom, the shape is coming down. The shape is coming down to take a shape in those materials where the surah will be taking place. Got it? The surah is coming down, it will take place here.
Yes.
But it comes down where from? From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَيَنْزِلُ مِنْ بَارِئِ الصُّوَرِ نُزُولُ الصُّوَرِ عَلَى الْمَوَادِ الْمُسْتَعِدَّةِ لَهَا كَالْإِسْتِجَابَةِ عَقِيبِ الدُّعَاء. Like somebody, look at me. Here I made dua. The dua, it went to Malay Ala. It went to Malay Ala. Now, number one, Malay Ala will recommend it or it will not. Yes, they will recommend its acceptance or non-acceptance. Got it? So, now up to that level, this dua is in doing and not doing equal. Got it? But as far as the case of Allah is concerned, He knows from before that either that dua is done or that dua is not done. Will be accepted or will not be accepted. كالاستجابة عقيب الدعاء مما فيه دخل لمتجدد حادث بوجه من الوجوه. And how the dua will be accepted? So Imam Rahmatullah alayhi says that it has certain other muharrikat behind it. That dua will be accepted. Look at me. Like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says that Yashku abdun ila Rabbi azza wa jal. Sometimes someone, he will be complaining to his Lord, Ya Rabbi if'al kaza, Ya Rabbi if'al kaza, oh Allah do me this, oh Allah do me this, oh Allah do me this. Wala yustajabu lahu. But no any acceptance and positive response is coming to him. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, wa maskanu haramun, because the house he is living therein, that is built up with haram. Wa ma karu haramun, the food he has put in his stomach, that is haram. Wa malbasu haramun, the dress wearing, that is haram. Wa ghuzziya bil haram, his flesh that is grown up from haram. Fa anna yustajabu lahu. Now that is one muharrik. Another muharrik, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Inna Allah la yaqbalu du'a an qalbin ghafilin lahin. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He does not accept the dua of that heart which is ghafil. And He Himself is not serious about their dua. So when you are making dua, you are not serious about your dua, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it. Got it? So that what Imam Rahmatullah said, فِي دَخْلٌ لِمُتَجَدِّدٍ حَادِثٍ. For new things, there is a sufficient contribution in this بوجه من الوجوه, in a way of, out of so many ways. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلق محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.